The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, this is Mia Mohsen-Zia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People, based upon a real-life relationship, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon. Do read it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's www.miamohsenzia.com and www.amazon.com/Mia Mohsen-Zia.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with an excellent male-female duo of Jimmi Ferris and Andrea Zattiero, who originated from the Las Vegas area, that got formed in South Florida, or should we say that they were formed in South Florida from Las Vegas. They've got a great story to tell you as well, too, and they've got their new album out called Doves of War, and they also talk about their debut, Night in Rock, and these guys just have an amazing story, and who they had in their debut, it's going to absolutely blow you away. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plush Studios in beautiful downtown Florida, somewhere in Gator Country, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmi Ferris and Andrea Zattiero of the new hot group, Trenched. Hey, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and thanks for joining us today.
Like the Truman Show. Good morning, good night, and how the hell are you?
Oh, man, you nailed that one. That's one of my favorite movies, The Truman Show.
Well, we all live in it now, right? We've got our own President Truman going on, it seems like.
Or is it President Trump or something like that? So.
Yeah. All I can tell you is he's very aware the cameras are there.
And of course, something falls on there. It's just like, what the heck is that thing? Is that one of the Russians that just dropped one of the satellites? Yeah, they're spying on us. We got the proof right here.
They hacked our album all over Russia. They don't pay a dime in royalties. That's all I can say, but at least they're bobbing their heads around.
Yeah. And a little Sputniks and drinking vodka, so I could tell you.
We're fine with that. You know, if they're bobbing their head to our music, they won't shoot straight. So we'll be okay.
Oh, heck yeah. And of course, I thought about the Truman Show. I'm on my way to watching number 6 to get different interpretation. And I always tell people good morning, but then somebody on the other side of the pond says, it's afternoon here, it's evening here. I said, you know what? The hell with it. I just say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That's where it came from. And thank you, Truman Show, for doing that. And thank you, Jim Carrey, for making us go crazy here in these times.
I can tell you right now, as an artist, as an official artist who knows what his job is, I rarely know what day or time of day it is, unless I look at my phone. If someone was to hack my phone, they could literally screw my whole life up.
Or in my case, if I have one of those days, either I forget what I have for breakfast or I forget to have my coffee. It's my version of it. So
it's the same thing for me. It's Monster Energy drinks, which is we have another energy drink that we're looking at making that is sponsoring us, but we would like to move up to the A leagues of Monster Energy drinks so that we can pee green. Down here in the world of peeing green, choose Monster.
Sounds good, and just don't get pissed off, okay? So
never.
and of course, you guys been in business for quite some time. You got an impressive debut album called United and Rocked, and you feature Jeff Beck, DJ Kid Magic Rock. You had Cisco Kid and more, and you also have new album called Doves of War. We're going to be playing loud and clear in just a minute, and you also have out Nation Runaways, Check the Fine Print, and more as well too. And you guys got hooked up in a unique way. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started.
I I got started with music very young. So did Annie. Annie got started younger than me. She started when she was a spring chicken. She just knew that's what she wanted to do. And with her voice, I imagine that would be. Andy, you go ahead and tell them briefly. Tell them how.
I did a lot of practicing. A lot of vocal training. Reps. A lot of vocal reps. My voice sucked at 13. It sucked, but I pushed it and I trained and I opened up the chords and made myself sing to how I thought was decent, and I just never stopped singing since. Mm-hmm. And went to school, but it wasn't really for me, and that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And what was the one moment that precisely influenced you guys in getting into music and to forming the band and where you're at today?
Well, I could break it to you in 3 different things. It's, her and I have been together for 6 years, so we finally figured, over that time, you don't learn everything about each other in the first month or year or decade even. We still got a lot to learn about each other. But one thing we could tell you, we both got into music the same way at the exact same time. And that was the first time we saw The Sound of Music.
Wow.
That was probably one of our heaviest influencers of our lives, both of us. And there's songs in that about, it's not just beautiful music and acting and this and that. I remember being a kid, the stuff I was into in that movie wasn't the exact same stuff she was into. Girl and boy maybe difference or artist difference, but they have songs in that about anyone can sing, anyone can do it. Mm-hmm. So people like Julie Andrews are the ones that dragged us into music. We had to be involved, and it just, so that would be what originally got us to go, I want to do that. You get older, you go, what do you want to do? I don't know if the younger generation could identify with this, but at some point there's movies like that and media like that, and when it does its best, it doesn't matter what kind of day you've had or how you're feeling, it makes you feel in that kind of way. And at some point I stood there and I went, I want to do that. I want to make people feel like this makes me feel right now. And that's kind of not only very important in terms of, oh, well, that's a primary indicator what forced us into it, but that's also what set the tone for our careers, because we want to make people feel good. We want to lift them up. And that doesn't mean that we're knocking all the artists out there that make a living tearing people down emotionally. But there's a lot of artists that do that. And there's a lot of people out there, the Mike Wagner people listening, maybe you haven't realized, junk in, junk out. Whatever you feed yourself is what you got. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to come home after a hard day or a hard week and you're going to listen to death metal, you're not going to feel better. You're going to think you are. I'm getting it out. You're not. Mm-hmm. You're adding it in.
Right.
And you're coloring like a coloring book on your soul. That's what you're doing.
I think that's a really good point, too. And I can imagine some of the people right now with Sound of Music having a bad day, just want to get rid of the junk. They're singing, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Exactly.
Oh, that was perfect, Andrea. That was perfect. And go ahead, chime yourself in on the question as well, too, since, Jimmy went ahead. And Andrea, go ahead and tell us what about the moment that got you in as well, too.
What did he ask me? What did you ask?
About the moment that got you, that you knew you were going to be a musician. And what hooked you?
Okay. I was like a little kid. We had a little talent show for fun. I think it was like first grade. And I didn't really know the song, all of it. It was a Barry Manilow song. And I was so little. But the two little kids that were with me didn't know the song. When they dropped out, I just kept going, and the faces of the adults, when they crouched down at me and stuck their face in my face, and they said, "Yeah, that's so good. I'll keep going." I'll never forget that. That's what sparked in me that, I could do this.
Wow, it's amazing.
We're talking about when I was a little kid. That's baby stuff. So it just never left me.
And what Barry Manilow song did you play? Or sing, I should say.
It was good question. It was Can't Smile Without You.
I can't smile without. Oh, I can imagine that. Yeah. And then they sang along and it just kept going.
And I kept singing the song when the kids with me dropped out. They didn't know the rest of it. I just kept going. And so I just never stopped believing that I could do it too. And then I asked my mother to buy me a piano at 8 years old, and then I kind of dropped out of that because I wanted to play by ear. And then I took a vocal lesson. She found me a good vocal teacher, and then I took those classes, and I really went hard in the paint with that. And then after that, after high school, I realized, well, I don't really want to go to college. I just really want to pursue this. Then after that, I met Jimmy. Fast forward, met Jimmy, and I had just got a gig in singing in a band, covers, and he said, "Hey, why don't you do some originals?" I said, "Okay." And I was glad I did.
And that's how Trench came about. And who are some of your favorite artists, musicians, and singers and guitarists growing up? So Andrea or Jimmy, you guys go ahead and jump in.
Let's do it like that dating game, hun. I'll give you 3 of hers, and she can give you 3 of mine.
Fiona Apple's first album title hit me hard because she played and sang a lot with the piano, and Alicia Keys also was big influences.
She likes Mila Jovovich.
And Mila Jovovich. You don't
Jovovich.
She didn't continue music, but she used music. One of her first albums.
And Andy has one of those it's funny because we'll go back in time and we'll make a playlist or something together, and that's part of what I meant earlier when I said, like, the longer you're with someone, the more you learn. I'll pull stuff out and I'll be like, "You've never heard of Mountain? You never heard of Yasgur's Farm or like the poetry of that and this?" And she'll be like, "Oh, well, you never heard of what's that one that I love? Reach Into the Darkness? Is that what it's called? Reach Into the Darkness." Like, so we'll and then we'll discover stuff we both overlooked together, like Ziggy Stardust. We'll go and look at all this original stuff. We're really in a blessed age right now if you're a music lover or a music creator, because when it comes to music creation, the amount of money you save by being able to do it digital instead of tape is insane. And the time that you can change. And also, like, I don't have to have 20 different amplifiers in order to record a guitar part. I can go and play it raw and clean, and then put it through all the different emulators till I find what I like, and then go play it on that amp. I go, okay, and I can try every different speaker setup without having to go plug a bunch of stuff in and out, and then use the ones I want for the final. So we could just save years and years of hard work, which doesn't mean we don't have 6,000 or 7,000 hours of work there's at least 7,000 hours in the album Doves of War, 5,000 hours in United in Rock, and there's about 10,000 hours in Battle Eternity, which is our next album that Loud and Clear is on, and those are our A songs. Like, we have a whole bunch of not a whole bunch, but 10 of the 500 songs Andrea and I have made together. We have 10 that are the A list, that are just, they say, you've heard, I'm sure, right, Mike, where an artist or someone will say, I just knew.
I just knew. It's almost like you're feeling it. That's right. I just knew it's that moment.
You play
yes.
back that song. You just know.
Mm-hmm.
You get goosebumps almost. You're like, and it's a bunch of little times like that work together. There's sometimes on stage where we'll be performing together, and I'll realize that what Andy and I just did, we did wrong, but the best thing you do is play live and screw up, honestly. And then when you're recovering, you get better and better at recovering. Every now and then, your recovery, you come up with a new lick or something new, and you get that feeling there too. You're like, whoa, that's a hit lick. That's a hit. And so you just save it for later. And that's what I meant before by you never know your time of day or whatever. It has nothing to do with drugs and partying. It has to do with the fact that when you get inspired with that and it strikes you like lightning, you either pursue it right then and right there, or you surrender it and say someone else can have that. Because if you try to put it down and come back to it, 0 times out of 400 has that ever worked. So you know what it's like when you're cutting or doing the stuff you do and you're drinking that coffee rather than coming back to it.
Exactly. I think you have a really good point. You mentioned Battle Eternity, the one that took about 10,000 hours. If I'm correct, that's the next album that's going to be coming out. Is that correct?
Loud and Clear is our single. So to put it in perspective, we came up with Loud and Clear. Her and I, that's one of the first songs we worked on together with a very talented musician named Richard Hamilton. And he's probably our generation's Jimmy Page on guitar. He's that good. Now he's also good at wearing other hats and creating. So we created Loud and Clear in 2014. And the first thing they want to do is, let's put it out. And I'm like, nope, because it's a hit. It's obviously a hit song. And if you put it out now and no one knows who we are and no one cares and no one's looking at us, then by the time it does come out, people are like, well, that's 6 years old. No one cares.
Exactly. You're right. And we'll talk about United in Rock and Loud and Clear, Doves and War, and more. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with Jimmi Ferris and Andrea Zattiero, who is best known as Trench here on the Mike Wagner Show. They're from Las Vegas, got started in South Florida, had a very interesting story and how they came together. And also, let's talk about your debut album, United in Rock. You featured Jeff Beck, DJ Kid Magic Rock, Cisco Kid, and more. And tell us about the album and what's it like working with those legends?
The funniest thing about that is, like, our debut album's United in Rock, but as I was saying, that came out in 18, and early 18. 2018. So we're working with all those people from 2014 on, and they just walked up to us at places like,
wow.
Jeff was my favorite because he just randomly rolled into our life, but you could just tell me and her were really new to it. We didn't really know anybody famous. But we were going to try our best. And anyway, who cares? And you could just tell the people who have been there and done it, they carry themselves a different way. First of all, they love their instruments. Unless they're like have fallen off or into drugs or something like that. If they still are the best, the love and respect they show their instruments is kind of like the same way you'll see a couple that's been together a long time. When they're out in public and they're watching a movie or something, they'll always touching each other, always rubbing each other's back. That's how you'll see a real musician who's been there and done it interact with their guitar when they're in public waiting to play. They're not going to they're going to be touching the knobs, rubbing it down, loving it. And Jeff's the first guy I saw do that. And then George Schuyler, he's the same way, only he's the kind who'll throw his guitar in the corner, but then when he's going to play, every time he'll piss you off because he'll go, well, I need to check this string. But he's not really checking the strings and stuff like that. He's really just showing it love before he's going to use it. And then Bill Hilt is one of the best musicians I've ever worked with. He will keep his guitar literally like you would keep a painting in your room on an easel.
He's also in the album United in Rock too.
Yeah, he's like, you left a lot of really big people out. George Schuyler is the guitarist from Mellencamp. Little Ricky, he's in there. Billy Corgan, his ensemble. He would probably argue he's pretty great. We were going to work with David Lee Roth, but then I called him David Beef Broth.
Beef Broth? What's up with that?
That's what they named him back in the day.
Joey Juice from Aerosmith used to hang out with him back in the day, and he said they called him David Beef Broth because his breath always smelled like beef broth from throwing up, drinking. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I told him, he asked me what I want to do. He wanted to play a Chapman stick with me, and I said, I don't care what we do as long as we get hammered and throw up together, because you're into that and I'm into that. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're David Beef Broth, dude. I want to hang out with that guy. Is that guy gone? And he got mad at me and he hung up, and I haven't talked to him since. So,
oh my gosh.
If you hear this, David Lee Roth, you can stop being a little biatch.
This is what rock and roll's all about.
Out. Like,
little inside stories.
Yeah, I mean, Victor Powell from out in Miola, we got to hang out with Quincy Jones before he passed. We got to, he was actually helped us. He played and helped us on a song that we ever released with Shihiro from Japan. He came over, one of Yoshiro. Everyone knows Yoshi from Japan.
Yes. So,
like, we really, right away, we attracted the famous people to us, and because we're never going to quit. They respect persistence. Jeff said it best, I guess. Oh, they all said it, but Joey actually said it best. He said, what it is there's a spark, and we all had that spark. It's like a gift from God, and you have it when you're going to be the guy, or for that time. And then, like, it goes away, and it's gone. But you still know what it looks like. And he's like, so we see it in you, and we like all gravitate to you because, we still love the ride, even if we're not the one holding the spark at the moment. So I got the spark right now. And how you doing out there, Earth? God still has shit to say to you.
Right.
Oh, I shouldn't cuss, I guess. God still has stuff to say to you. Sorry, Mom, you could beat me with a wooden spoon later.
It's okay. We forgive you. And, of course, I can imagine Jimi Hendrix when he said that, and the gods made love. So,
yeah, well, the thing is they don't. My mom will forgive me after she beats me. Yeah. So the main thing about all these people I could tell you is everyone's like, oh, they're just like you. They're not. They're a different category of being because they have surrendered fully to the idea of being an intermediate. It's like saying I'm going to be a living, breathing megaphone for these ideas that come from somewhere else. And the more you work on it, the more you can figure it out. Like you've got Doves of War you mentioned several times. When we made the song Step Into the Shadows, that song was based on the idea that Facebook had put an app, created a little app. It had pedo tracker where you could look up sex offenders on Facebook. Had an app that would track them for you and show you where all their houses were and what they did.
Wow.
And I looked at that app and said, hey, we should just go murder all these sons of whatever. And beat them to death or something. And we made a song about it. So we make this song about it. That's an idea. It came from somewhere else. It's inspiration.
From Doves of War album.
And this is in 2014. And that came in, we were at Fort Myers at that point, or no, at Cape Coral. And literally, while we're making the song, before we've even finished recording it, 6 years before we release it.
Step into the Shadows.
But literally, while we're making a song about doing that, the song we made is called Step Into the Shadows. While we were recording that, people, a man and woman less than 5 miles from us went and did it. And they killed one pedophile. They killed another one. They were on the way to a third one, and the police realized they were using the Facebook app and interrupted them by locating them on the way to their third.
Wow.
So that idea hit us, and we're like, hey, we're the megaphone. We're going to make a song about it. But that idea was hitting everybody else too. And so that's what all these people who aren't like the rest of us are like. They're all slightly different. Some of them have a giant pumpkin head, I call it, the great pumpkin, where they're just all ego. And some of them are the most humble people you'll ever meet, like Victor Powell is the most humble guy you'll ever meet. And you think, oh, he's just like he fell off music a long time ago. Then you go to his house, and he'll show you that he's got a one-of-a-kind custom-built guitar made by one of the legends, and that's his baby.
Do you remember what that was called?
And he knows every note. I'm not.
Patrol?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it because it was a secret.
Right.
And I don't ever talk about guitars out there that people's famous ones are, because, like Jeff Beck, for instance, is a horrible thief who steals everything from other people. So he has like all sorts of stuff that he misappropriated from Jimmy Page and the rest of them back in the 70s and 80s, and they might find out he has it if we were to say. So, like, I will say this, Jimmy Page, you're very wonderful. I love you. You look more and more like a Monty Python guy every day.
Monty Python.
I literally have, I reappropriated it from, I have your theremin from the Led Zeppelin 4 album. I have it. It still has your name written on the back, but your name is my name. So, but I have it. I'll keep it nice and safe. That's what they all say, by the way, when they rip each other's stuff off. I'm keeping it safe.
I think it sounds like you guys are trying to do a Monty Python stretch with Andrea, probably some of the background. Sounds like you trying to do a sketch or something.
Andrea likes to do that background fill. She's a good side fill.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, that's something to keep in mind, too. And you also had some of the other songs as well, too, are going over to what was it? United We Rock, and I'm trying to look for the site here, and I think we got sidetracked. And oh yes,
Trench.herenow.com. Not just you, but everyone else out there is our landing page.
Got it. Okay, and some songs over there: ADD, Superhero, Dirty Secret, Fly My Angels, and more. And maybe you can tell about some of the songs that have done pretty well, and maybe some you could highlight.
ADD is the one that has Cisco Kid on it. And it's a decent one. That one's fun. I actually made that whole song. The notes for it, if you want to play along, are GED, ADD. Because if you have ADD, you're definitely getting a GED, which also means General Education Diploma for those of you out there who didn't go to that kind of school system.
Oh, wow.
So the notes of that song are made for you to understand. So
ADD, GED, those are the notes or chords played in the song. Sounds like ABACAB. It's like ABACAB. That was the genius of Mike Rutherford. Yeah, it's like I don't hear much of the songs often. It's like they base it on chords. That should be done more of that. Now you talked about earlier that when your songs came up based on ideas, and do the majority of your songs come up based on ideas, the lyrics wise, or does it come from, say, real stories, fantasy, what happened in real life, or anything like that? Are the majority of your songs based on ideas, or what other songs you say would be based on, like, say, real life or something happened to you or fantasy?
Well, generally, we're two different ways. For Andy, she does a lot of the choruses, and so her words and stuff a lot will be written. Our songs are, first of all, to back it up, our songs generally come from music first and vocals second. And that right there, if you're into making it or designing, you know how weird that is, because it doesn't come from a vocal melody or an idea vocally. It comes from an idea in nature, walking around, almost like you would hear like an EDM or a techno person. They'll always say all our music comes from, I heard like this guy hitting a hammer into a anvil, and that made me come up with a tune, you know. And so all of ours are like the beat of life. Everything comes from a beat, and I'll get the beat from wherever. I'll hear something. I'll hear a car backfire, and then boom, and then I've got to work on it. Oh. And so we'll make the music, and then at some point making the music, the idea will come in on what should be said. And if that doesn't, like, for instance, Loud and Clear, I stood up and I said, okay, we need help with this, God. And so I just freestyled that. So that's all just made up on the spot. Like, I do that. I do most of my most complicated stuff, like Nation or Runaway or whatever, is just freestyled. And that's just made up on the spot. Not freestyled like you do, Eminem. I know what you do. You guys, you make up a bunch of crap and you have all your different stuff stuck together and you memorize all your little parts. No. I mean that I'll get on my knees and I'll say, I'm going to need help with this. And you've got to understand, if I have the spark, who I am. That means if you love them,
Hamilton's track.
Like, I never got to play with David Bowie till he died. Okay?
Right.
But once they're dead and they're good people, then I get to work with them. If you go and listen to the track Quality Time for Two on Doves of War, that's the first time I ever touched a 6-string guitar. And so you can hear, but I knew I was going to need help or I would suck. And so Jimi Hendrix is a hero of mine, and he's there and he still has stuff to say. And so I just let him say it. And you go ahead and tell me, if you listen to that song, if that's the first time somebody touched a 6-string or not. Because I'm either lying or there's a lot more going on than people out there know.
Right, exactly.
And I guarantee I'm not lying, because I did it all in front of Andrea and other people.
Yes,
most of it.
Yes, right. You talked about the beats of life, and I can totally relate to what you're saying, too. And if I did something like this, maybe you make a song out of it.
What are you doing?
Do it again.
He's doing some crap.
Do it again.
Oh, now it's going to be a little ticker.
At least
it's almost like a bomb counting down.
He's inspired. I like that.
At least you're getting some ideas here on what to do for a song, and if it goes to number one, I'll let you take the credit. So
you ever see that Jungle Book movie, the animated one?
Oh my gosh, the 60s. What was it? The Bare Necessities, something like that. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh.
What is the monkey song, right? That's really Louis Prima, right?
Yes,
one of the kings of swing, right? And when they're walking up, the song's still far away and it's fading in. And that was also another instrumental part of my entire life. I started playing instruments at 8.
Oh wow!
That song was like Blue the Bear. He's walking and he goes, "Do you hear that beat? It all starts with a beat."
Crazy.
Little bear, or whatever he calls him, little bit or whatever, little britches. It all starts with a beat, little britches. And I was like going, and it sure does. Like, you could get everything wrong. I will fire a drummer on the spot, because that's the one thing that can't be done wrong. The beat is your heartbeat, whatever you got, and that's the beat. And so, like, that's where it all starts with, like you just did. It's all the beat. It's all the tick, tick, tick. And then it builds on that. And that's why ADD people are so good at it. Because if you give an ADD person, if you have ADD out there and I just go tick, 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 tick. Now, right then, when I said now, you're starting to add your own crap to it. You know, it's like tick, 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 tick,
and
tick,
boom,
tick,
boom, boom,
tick,
boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
tick,
Yes,
tick,
exactly.
tick,
Oh my
and that's the basis of music, and the rest is just getting everybody else to enjoy it. And that's like, we've been blessed to play with all these people, but you guys about to get to know. We started we over the years that we've been working together, Andrea and I have saved our 10. We've got 10 songs we call A-list. Everything else is B-list. That means everything on United Rock is a B-list, a B-side for us. And everything on Doves of War is a B-list. No matter how good they are. But with Doves of War, we started to get traction. Like with United Rock, we saw the wheels spinning. It went out. It took a long time, 6 months. We got curated on Pandora. That was a big deal for us. That was like an indicator because you can't get curated on Pandora. They come to you. So we finally got that Pandora, and we did okay. And then we put out the next album, Doves of War, and Pandora curated us in 6 days.
Wow.
Okay.
6 months and one, 6 days and another. That is amazing.
Yeah,
and this is without being signed to any label.
Yeah, and then
wow.
And then we keep going.
Yeah.
And so I see Doves of War, and then Doves of War starts to get amazing traction. We're running into these big shots calling us up and wanting to work with us, and we're like, okay, well, if you're going to work with us, let's work on, like Jimmy Starr and Eileen were messing with us, and they were like, PR for us. And they're like, well, we really want to push this. They love it. They love this and that. I'm like, well, let's give you guys a real song. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, let's go with like Loud and Clear, which is really, it's one of our A sides, but it is literally our worst A side.
Worst A side? Really?
It's our worst A side song. So Loud and Clear we're like, okay, we're going to give you one of the real ones, but not the best. We're going to give you our worst card. And we did that. And then here we are a month later, and we've got 550,000 listeners and spins and downloads last week, 480,000 the week before that, over 100 radio stations playing it, FM, and who knows how many satellite, and then 25 of those stations playing it on like rotation. Like there's a station in Seattle that's playing it 14 times a day, a station in Cleveland playing it 19 times a day on average.
Oh my gosh.
And so you see that level of success, and we're like, okay, time to put out Battle for Eternity, which is going to be our first real album, meaning that we're going to get money from how many royalties and all the stuff we've got already. Okay. And we're going to get a label contract. So all you people out there that see us at number 17, and I'm talking directly to you who's number 1 through 16 and number 18 through 50 on the charts. You guys all have money. You have all the things money can buy. We're not talking about Maseratis. You've got the best gear. We have the cheapest gear. You have real world-class production. We have me producing. You have the world-class mastering. We have me mastering. Okay? You have some of the best players on earth playing all the instruments. We have me playing all the instruments. Okay? I'm about to get money, and now I'm really coming for your little thrones. Mm-hmm. All right? And it's friendly competition because no one dies. But just be aware, I'm very disappointed in all of you because rock and roll isn't even in the top 200. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Right.
That's a joke because if you go and look at a Marvel movie and they want some cool crap to happen, does a hip-hop song come on? Huh? When Thor's jumping with the hammer and he's going, I'm coming, it's, that
was my favorite. Yes.
There is no Lil Wayne. There is no, he could be going, I'm going to pick the world up and drop it on its head. They're not. Why? Because the demand for rock is out there, and all you people making it right now have lost your way. You're not listening to God, and you're not relaying what he has to say, and so you're fugazi, and you have ruined rock. And I'm back here to tell you that, if you want to tell us what your feelings are, put your money on the table and go to a counselor and tell them your feelings, okay? Rock and roll, go back and show me what's emo about the Doors, or Floyd, or Zeppelin, or Aerosmith, okay? And I hate to sound a little bit angry, but I am. Mm-hmm. Okay, we literally have an entire industry corrupted by people who think we care what their feelings are. Okay? Here's what feelings I care about. I have a hard life. I'm Joe Sixpack. I'm working my butt off 5 days a week. I've got a mortgage I can barely keep, and I'm 2 paychecks away from being broke. All right? I don't need you to fill me with your angst, rocker. I need you to take me away from that in a way that's positive and uplifting so that I feel good, so that I can make it through another week. And if I come to your show, that's what I need. And if you stop doing that, they stop coming. And if they stop coming, then you no longer can challenge the crap like Lady Gaga, who basically spends more time gluing strange crap to her face than she does writing lyrics.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
Nothing personal.
Right, exactly. I know what you mean. And of course, you know, after listening to Loud and Clear, this is not your worst aid card. I have to say this. We're going to definitely play it, but first listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with Jimmi Ferris and Andrea Zattiero of Trench here on the Mike Wagner Show. Right now, we got their newest single called Loud and Clear here on the Mike Wagner Show. Here's Trench with Loud and Clear on the Mike Wagner Show.
You did what you did, you did again. Put out the cell phone, push the digits, and then push send. Another lesson in longing, leaving left unsaid. Another message left on the floor and left in red. Yellow hearted symbols flashing on the track. Crack the case, flip out the cell, see who has hit you back. And we all believe in destiny.
I can hear you loud and clear. What is coming from your heart? I can hear you loud and clear. Knew the story from the start.
Another night quiet by turning on myself again. Spent half the night liking, sharing, poking, and finding friends. Shaking cheerleader hands like a used pom-pom. Planning perfect picture from Joe photo bomb. Skip the ad enticing, no one wants to deal with it. Cut to the chase, adjust, still with the heart of it. You said we all believe in destiny.
I can hear you loud and clear. What is coming from your heart? I can hear you loud and clear. Knew the story from the start. I can hear you loud and clear. What is coming from your heart? I can hear you loud and clear. What is coming from your heart?
The struggles, troubles, the cost, the stakes, surrender race. I fight to fend off myself and my own feelings. So maybe losing this time will be everything. 'Cause we all believe in destiny.
I can hear you loud and clear. What is coming from your heart? I can hear you loud and clear. Knew the story from the start. And we know how this will go. Destiny can have its way. I can hear you loud and clear. What is coming from your heart? We believe.
Great song by Trench with Loud and Clear here on the Mike Wagner Show. Tell us more about that song, and once again, tell us what inspired you to write that tune.
So that tune was about what's going on kind of today, even though it was written in 2014, a lot of the stuff we wrote back then, because we were writing with inspiration and just going wherever that led, a firm belief in a creator and pushing in that direction. The song was about what can happen. That's why a lot of people think it's just a solid love song, boy, girl, guys chasing the girl. The girl is
Double meaning.
Replying. But the real meaning of the song is suicide. It is about, and not suicide sung from a dark and depressing, but suicide sung from it's not too late unless they're dead. Mm-hmm. So the song says, the guy basically, he's trying to get her. He's going, you did what you did again. Meaning that most of the time girls are heartbreakers. You're not the first heart they break. He takes out his cell phone. He's pushing the digits, pushing send. She's not answering. So he's stalking her on Facebook and stuff, trying to find out what he did wrong. And then as another message left on the floor, left in red. If you don't understand that, go and review CSI or, Law and Order or whatever. And then yellow caution lights, because the yellow lights are the lights you don't want to see if you didn't know that. In most states, if you see the yellow lights flashing on a police type vehicle, that is a coroner. And anyway, so you got your yellow lights flashing. The guy basically did himself because he has no idea what he did wrong, and this happens every day in every state. And it doesn't have to. That's when she comes in. Andrea is taking the position of an angel, saying, I can hear you loud and clear. But you have to hear them too. You have to realize you're not alone. Just because that person left you alone, you're never alone. Okay? You could get dumped by Jessica Big Boobs. All right? She could dump the crap out of you. She can be with Johnny Six-Pack up the road because he's got a bigger, better football arm at that moment. All right? But you're still not going to – you still were made. You're not a evolutionary byproduct of what the hell ever the current theory is. You were made, you were formed, and you were known before you were formed, and you have a purpose. But the big problem is most of you out there listening to me either think I'm a kook or have no idea what your purpose is and really haven't even been taught how to find it. Mm-hmm. All right?
Right.
And so we do a lot of songs where Andrea takes the position of the purposer, because her talent is actually greater than mine. Her abilities with a 5-octave voice and perfect pitch are to a degree greater than mine, where we could be walking in nature and an animal could make a sound and she could make it back. And she could get a bird to fly down and land on her.
That's exactly what they sound like.
The point is,
she's
she's good enough at doing the sounds to where she could get a songbird to come down and land on her hand just to see what the heck she really is. So I've watched her do that several times. Mm-hmm. And that talent can only be a gift. And so that talent would put her closer to that source. And so she would be the in my opinion, I would be most of our songs the one who's lost or in the dark or doesn't know. And that's what Loud and Clear is about. And it's geared toward that age. Like if you're between the age of 15 and 25, you're the primary age for that right now. Mm-hmm.
And where can we find Loud and Clear at?
You can find Loud and Clear everywhere. It's at Spotify. You could go to www.trenched.hearnow.com, and that's our landing pad for everything. I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to two of the biggest guys, Joey B. Fly and Omar Jefferson, and also Spankmaster Boogie, and just all the we have literally the trinity of promoters out there working for us on our side. All of them behind the curtain type people who are just they pushed us when we weren't making 10 cents and we didn't have any money to pay them, and they didn't care. They loved the music and they kept it true. And Omar in particular has kept it true his entire life. He's been true to music in the theory that truth pays off in the end greater than any riches you could get. Mm-hmm. And so You can see loud and clear anywhere there. If you go and look at the video sucks on YouTube because it's just a regular. I just did a cool little video of our faces and stuff, but I did my filters. I do the stuff I like to do. But under the video, the lyrics of the song are, and also you can see that on James Ferris YouTube channel. Just put in "Trenched" loud and clear video. Look it up. It's not doing as great as the other charts. It's only got like 10,000 views or something in a couple weeks, and Spotify is like 150,000 or something.
Big difference, yes.
But the cool thing about it is you can go under it. The lyrics are right there, and also the message for it, just telling people, look, if you feel like you're alone, it's because you're like the rest of us. You're stupid enough to believe that. You're never alone. You will never be alone. In fact, all these people that believe Eastern philosophy, why do you think the Buddhist monk has to go way up to the top of the mountain? Because that's the only way he could ever even be close to alone. We overlap. We're all involved in each other. The entire world has PTSD from being locked up too long in some sort of like even in jail, they wouldn't be able to legally lock you up in isolation for 6 months. Solitary, they call it, confinement. But we are, to a degree, divided, and a lot of us feel alone, and I'm not liking the trends. And the person who created all of us is not liking the trends on suicide. And so Loud and Clear has several messages. It's to whatever it means to you. Right. But that's the message that I choose to let affect me about it right now, is because it's what's needed right now.
And that's a very good point as well, too. You can find Loud and Clear on Spotify and all the major platforms. We're here with Trenched, Jimmi Ferris, and Andrea Zattiero here on the Mike Wagner Show. Let's talk about, again, Doves of War, maybe just to hit upon a few songs. I think we did Step in the Shadows. There's also Nation of Runaways. There's also Combat Soldier, and also Bikini Suicide and I'm the Beat. Maybe tell us about a few of those songs and whatever I didn't mention or so. Maybe ones that stand out for you.
Well, it's from the beginning to the end, Nation of Runaways was mostly made in 2014 and 15, and then I had to put it down because I realized I wasn't good enough to play the instruments as well as I wanted to at that point. And by that, I don't mean I could pick up an instrument and play anything I wanted at any time. That's part of the talent, the gift that I get. But if I don't play the instrument really well and don't know it like the back of my hand by going out and playing it every day like a good tour monkey, then I might not hear stuff in my head that can be done, and then therefore I don't ever think of it, and therefore I don't ever try it, and therefore I don't ever play it. So I wanted to go further. I wanted more depth before I did it, so we came back and finished it earlier this year in January, February, March. My favorite ones on there, Wild Ride and Alibis is a great song on there. That one's about the natural resistance of people to the idea of love. Like, burned once, shame on you. And now I'm going to sit here behind my iron walls and not let anybody else reach in. I'm going to, my grandmother's a good example of that. She's married. She had 4 kids. It was a lot of love. He left her. He did her dirty with 4 young kids, and she never even dated again. And that's her bad.
And
his bad was
90,
80s. Yeah.
She'll never remarry. That's terrible.
Yeah. So she's damn near 90.
Wow.
She never let herself love again.
I think she just had her 89th. I'm a bad grandson in terms of dates but I don't even know my own age most of the time. So whatever. Call me the Nutty Professor. That's kind of who I am. I'm the Nutty Professor mixed with the real Walter Mitty, and I don't mean the Ben Stiller one. I mean the real one where it all happened in his mind and not,
Right.
So
Wild Ride and Alibis is about letting yourself love.
It's actually about kind of like you. It's like sometimes the other person just has to come in and smash you against your will and get you in the car. And that's what real love is. Katharine Hepburn and Audrey Hepburn explain it best when Cary Grant's going through the motion and bringing up baby, and he's got his marriage, his life planned out, all that, but he's not really feeling anything. And she instantly falls in love with him and says, I don't care that you're getting married. I love you, and I know that's a real feeling. I can see that you're the same as I was before I met you. You're just going through it all. So I'm taking you against your will, and you're going to fall in love with me, period. And that's what, Andy is smiling like a jackass right now.
This guy up here, Jimmy, kept running away, and I kept finding him in the city.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Yeah,
It's crazy, but I had enough.
I mean, I did. I packed a bag and moved out of my home and ran away so she wouldn't know where I was.
I prayed, and I kept, it's like an invisible string in your gut, and you get pulled by it, and you just got to follow where the string pulls you, and you may not know or you don't ask yourself, why am I going down this street? You just go down the road because you're being pulled, and there was Jimmy again, who ran away from me for third time.
And
That's how you let yourself be led by the Spirit. Yeah, go ahead.
So that's Wild Rides.
Yep.
And then we had ones that really mean a lot, like Step Into the Shadows we mentioned, but that one's a song about what's going on right now, even though it's written. I mean, that's by definition, inspiration from your creators should occur before the events that inspired it. Mm-hmm. That's how you would know it came from your creator and not from the other side.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And where can we find Doves of War at?
It would be on the same. Any of these, you could just type in Trenched and then that in your search string, and it'll come up. We're doing very well digitally, and they're all over. But again, not to pimp it too much, but www.trenched, that's TRENCHED .hearnow, HEARNOW.com. And you could also find us on Twitter at TrenchedB, and then work your way backward from there. Omar's always on top of everything to do with the digital media. So if you find us and you need to reach out to Omar, or you could type directly to TrenchedB and just say, Omar Jefferson, I need to talk to you or whatever, and he'll see it. I mess with him all the time.
He's probably getting 10,000 right now. Ping, 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 ping.
Well, he does. He's insane. He'll call me up in the middle of the night and tell me, 1,000 people hashtagged this yesterday, and I'm like, how do you even know that? Like,
Omar, you were the glue. You never gave up on us. Thank you.
Yeah, Omar is true to music, true to the
without being signed to a label.
And he's looking forward to hearing the other 9 on. Because Loud and Clear, like I said, we reached a level of success with United in Rock. We reached a higher level of success with Doves of War. And that higher level of success showed me it's time to release the stuff that we've saved to the side. Mm-hmm. And our real A-list. And like I said, Loud and Clear is our worst of the best. Mm-hmm. It's our Yellow Submarine.
Okay.
And like some of the stuff on there, like for instance, I made the song Foreign Shores. When that comes out, I want everybody out there to realize I literally smashed a pipe with another pipe to make some sounds, and then I just did musical tricks with pedals and stuff like that, and that entire song is just that. One smash of a pipe into another pipe. It sounds like drums. It sounds like all the instruments, but it is not.
In what song?
Foreign Shores. All that weird. That's all one sound.
Wow.
Foreign Shores. Foreign Shores.
Mm-hmm.
All of the. No, but when they do get that, they can realize from this interview that entire song is just one sound that I manipulated 1,000 million different ways. If you put it in perspective, you can throw some words at people and they don't necessarily attach a meaning. So let me attach some meanings. 10,000 hours at least in the album coming out. 7,500 hours at least into Doves of War. 5,000 hours at least into United in Rock. And that's just my hours. So if you look at it, a doctorate in college is about 7,000 hours of work.
Wow. That is amazing. Uh-huh.
So now you've got a meaning attached. When I say 10,000 hours, I mean that I literally could have got a master's and 2 doctorates, maybe 3 doctorates just on that one album. Because that's what it is. And if you say, okay, in the last 6 years, I've put 20,000 hours into music, and you're good at math, and you can go, okay, 100 waking hours a week, that's 5,000 waking hours a year.
Mm-hmm.
how many hours is like, and out of that, in 6 years, 30,000 hours, about a third of them I didn't devote to music.
That is
The
amazing.
last 6 years.
And of course, the hours keep coming as well, too. And we're here with Jimmi Ferris and Andrea Zattiero of Trench here on the Mike Wagner Show. A very big thank you for your time, guys. You've been absolutely great. And just a few more things here as well, too. We'd love to have you back in 2021 and beyond. And tell us, what else can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond besides your upcoming album?
We're going to do some big stunts. We're going to bring back the idea of blowing your mind. Like I said, you guys have been very good out there, and you're funding us very well by listening, and downloading. And we'll eventually get access to that funds when we're BMI artists and that comes in. And we're going to do it. We're going to bring back what Michael Jackson and the rest did for you. We're going to come up with stunts. Expect us to do some sort of laser show where you look up in the sky and see what looks like two fire gods throwing fireballs at each other as they plummet toward the earth, until at the last minute we pull the cords on our squirrel suits and land on stage.
Squirrel suits.
Expect us to do things that no insurance company will ever let us do.
No.
And we're still going to do them because we don't care.
No.
Rock and roll was meant to be on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be on the top again.
Mm-hmm. Not even the Geico Lizard or Flo from Progressive can stop you from doing that.
They could try.
Or Jake from
be in someone else's good hands.
Yeah, or Jake from State Farm. Yeah, I know it's 3 a.m, but it's not Omar. But we just want to check into your car insurance. But yeah, what's that song again you wanted to play while we're talking car insurance? Imagine something like that.
Do you remember that crazy scene from Apocalypse Now, where the helicopters are coming in?
Uh-huh.
Just once, I'd like to come in with like 4 military helicopters over a crowd of 30,000 people and a bunch of blanks, or just even speakers and sparks on fake miniguns, and just pretend to hose the whole crowd with shirts. And I'd like to hear the whole crowd hear it like in the distance at first. Like, what is that? What is that in the distance?
Oh, is that Flight the Valkyrie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a great song. I love that. I think that was in one of the movies starring Tom Cruise, Valkyrie. That was what I remember it for. That was just amazing.
I would love to just have like 4 big old Hueys come over and pretend to hose the crowd with machine guns, and just so much sound and fury that they just half of them lose their mind and senses right there in the beginning. And then right when it's like almost too much and you're going to cause a riot, kill it, and then the lights come on. And you rappel down from the helicopters on the stage and start your act. I mean, we're going to do things that should have been done a long time. The cookie cutter formula isn't working, obviously, or rock and roll would be number one still. I can see you're one of those other artists out there and you want to be part of it. We want you to be part of it. We're not here to overcome you. We're here to overcome the dumbness you're doing.
I can see you, the next generation of Kiss. To the extreme.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we were inspired by them. We love them. But we're the digital age. We could do crazy things. We could, we could literally have, like, using, projectors, 3D projectors and stuff like that, holographic projectors. We could look like we're throwing fireballs over the stage at each other and have a big mock battle. We could do all sorts of crazy things. Look like we set the entire audience on fire. We could put a whole bunch of balloons over the audience in a huge cluster and then shoot them with a hose filled with red wine so that the whole audience gets doused with red wine raindrops. There's just so much that we could do that hasn't been done because people are just like, well, how do I get the money? We'll do this is the minimum amount I have to do for them to give me this much money, and we're going to do the minimum, and by God, we're going to do it safely. Look, safe isn't a destination I'm interested in, okay? I want to be like, hold my drink, and then he died, okay?
Hold my beer, I've got this, you mean. So.
Yep.
That's right. Once again, Jimmi Ferris and Andrea Zattiero Trench here on the Mike Wagner Show. And, just a couple more things. Who do you consider biggest influence in your careers?
Biggest influence in my career is, of all time, Jimi Hendrix.
Okay, and what about you, Andrea?
Pat Benatar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like Jimmy because he went, he served, he was a paratrooper, he fought in combat, he loved this country, and at the height of Woodstock, he went and he played the national anthem. And a lot of people here don't get what he did there.
Mm-hmm.
He was letting people know, no, we're not tearing down this country because we are this country and it's ours. So we're just going to go and we're going to try to make some changes.
That's right. Very inspirational. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point, guys? So, Andrea, you start first, and Jimmy, go ahead.
What's the question?
Best advice you could give someone right now.
The advice. Oh, gosh. Don't give up because we're all locked down right now. All you out there, everybody who's listening, don't give up. Everything you put aside to do all your goals, don't just throw it away and go, oh, well, forget that. I'm not going to do that. I'm stuck here in this house. Don't. Your life must continue. All the goals that you had, every dream you had, don't just throw it all away because you're stuck in a house because the government tells you to. No. So that's my advice to all of you because don't throw it away. Mm-hmm. Don't.
And then how about you, Jimmy?
There's a great song that says, live life like you're dying. I hope everybody gets a chance to live life like they were dying. I'll just tell you, you don't know when you're going to die, so you might as well. And it looks like our leaders are going to crash us into a giant cliff or off the edge of the earth that isn't even there. So you might as well get out there and live like you're dead next year, every last one of you, and stop being told you need to wait for later to do the things that you want to do. Call the people you love, tell them, even if they were completely wrong in the argument you got in, tell them, I don't care. I love you. I'm wrong because I let the argument get in between us, and that matters more. Reach out to the world around you and your family. Remember, God, country, family, self. All right? And if we could stop doing that in reverse order, we could probably all of us have a better go of it here.
I think that's a very good point. Once again, Jimmy Ferris and Andrea Zattiero of Trench here on the Mike Wagner Show. Very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic, guys. Looking forward to having you again soon in 2021 and beyond. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or listen to your music?
The best place to go is this thing they invented called the intranet that Al Gore invented before global warming shut it down. It's www.trenched, TRENCHED.hearnow, HEARNOW.com. And if you could go to any link you want from there, they're all on there. Or you could just type in Trenched, loud and clear, the word A and D in the middle, loud and clear, on a Google return with Bing as your search engine. It will be the first 3 pages. You can't miss us. The only other thing I can tell you is that while we're everywhere there, we hope to be in your area soon, doing hijinks and tricks. We'll probably start with some drive-in because we're all locked down. So we're going to right away next month and the month after, we're going to have some giant concerts that are drive-in concerts. And we expect you to bring your best speakers because we're going to broadcast the sound to you guys and let you guys thump it up. So we're going to do some crazy hijinks like that where we all stay 6 feet apart but still shake the planet together.
That's very good. Once again, guys, a very big thank you for your time. Been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. We'll have you back on in 2021 and beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch. You guys have been great.
You got it.
Thanks for having us.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.